Welcome to Concrete Block, the podcast where we dive into the latest news and current events shaping our world. I'm your host, Walter, and we're glad you're joining us for another episode. Today, we're starting with a significant development in international relations, as U.S. President Donald Trump has made a notable shift in his stance on the ongoing conflict between Ukraine and Russia. According to recent reports, President Trump has suggested that Ukraine may be able to win back territory long held by Russia, marking a departure from his previous position that Kyiv would need to cede some of its territory to Moscow to end the war. This change in tone comes after Trump met with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky on the sidelines of the UN General Assembly. Trump took to social media to express his newfound optimism, stating that Ukraine, backed by the European Union and NATO, can win back all its territory. He even went so far as to suggest that Ukraine could maybe even go further than that. This reversal has raised eyebrows, given Trump's history of inconsistent statements on the conflict. It's worth noting that Trump's comments come amidst a series of incursions by Russian military aircraft into NATO airspace, which have escalated tensions in the region. The president has said that he believes NATO members should shoot down Russian aircraft in such cases, although he stops short of committing to direct U.S. involvement. As we consider the implications of Trump's shift in stance, it's essential to remember the complex history and nuances of the Ukraine-Russia conflict. We'll continue to monitor developments and provide updates as more information becomes available. In related news, Trump has also been critical of NATO members who continue to purchase Russian energy, arguing that this funding is effectively supporting Russia's military actions against Ukraine. This criticism has sparked a debate about the role of economic sanctions in resolving the conflict. We'll be exploring these topics and more in depth as we move forward with today's episode. For now, it's clear that the situation between Ukraine and Russia remains volatile, and Trump's changing stance has added a new layer of complexity to the mix. We'll be right back with more of today's top news on Concrete Block. Welcome back to Concrete Block. We're glad you're still with us as we dive into the second part of our show. Today, we're exploring some of the most critical and thought-provoking stories from around the world. Our previous segment took us on a journey through the complexities of global economics, and now we're shifting gears to focus on a deeply troubling incident that has left communities shattered and seeking justice. In the coastal town of Banias, Syria, a wave of violence erupted in March, targeting the Alawite minority. The aftermath has been nothing short of devastating, with hundreds killed and many more displaced. As we delve into this story, it's essential to acknowledge the complexity of the situation and the myriad factors at play. The Syrian government has launched an investigation into the massacres, with a fact-finding committee established to uncover the truth behind these horrific events. According to reports, the committee has found no evidence of a governmental policy or plan to carry out such attacks. However, this conclusion has been met with skepticism by some, who argue that the state's control during the violence was partial or absent at times. For many, including Bassam Al-Ahmad, the executive director of Syrians for Truth and Justice, an NGO documenting human rights violations in Syria, the question of accountability remains unanswered. Under international law, the failure to prevent war crimes is sufficient for criminal responsibility, highlighting the need for a thorough and transparent investigation. As we navigate this intricate landscape, it's crucial to listen to the voices of those directly affected. Noor, who lost her brother and father in the massacres, encapsulates the sense of mistrust and despair that pervades the community. "I don't trust anyone," she said. "There is no committee that I would be willing to speak to, and no government that I could trust. The path forward will undoubtedly be challenging, requiring a concerted effort from all stakeholders to rebuild trust and ensure justice for those responsible." As Nanar Hawatch, a senior analyst at the International Crisis Group, notes, sustainable reform may necessitate a broader social shift, one that prioritizes inclusivity and genuinely integrates minorities into governance. As we continue to follow this story and its developments, it's our commitment to provide you with balanced and unbiased reporting. The situation in Banias serves as a stark reminder of the fragility of peace and the importance of accountability in preventing future atrocities. Stay tuned for our final story of the day, right here on Concrete Block. Welcome back to Concrete Block. We're wrapping up today's show with a look at a developing story that's making waves in international relations. The recent pact between Saudi Arabia and Pakistan has raised eyebrows, particularly in India, where concerns are being voiced about the potential implications for regional security. To break it down, the agreement between Saudi Arabia and Pakistan is seen as a significant move, with some experts arguing that it could reshape regional alignments and potentially create a new dynamic in the Middle East. The pact is not just about military cooperation, it's also about economic and diplomatic ties, which could have far-reaching consequences. On one hand, Pakistan stands to gain from this partnership, with Saudi Arabia's financial clout set to boost its military capabilities. On the other hand, India is watching closely, aware that this new alliance could potentially complicate its own relationships in the region. Some experts are warning that the pact could even lead to a broader coalition of Muslim states, which could have significant implications for India's foreign policy. It's essential to note that the situation is complex, and opinions on the matter vary widely. While some see the pact as a game-changer, others argue that it's simply a formalization of a long-standing understanding between Saudi Arabia and Pakistan. As we analyze this story, it's crucial to consider multiple perspectives and avoid jumping to conclusions. The reality is that international relations are inherently nuanced, and the consequences of this pact will depend on various factors, including how it's implemented and how other nations respond. In conclusion, the Saudi-Pakistan Pact is a significant development that warrants close attention. As the situation unfolds, we'll continue to provide you with balanced and informative updates. For now, it's clear that this story has the potential to impact regional dynamics in meaningful ways. That's all for today's Concrete Block. Remember to like, share, and subscribe, and until next time, stay informed.